Welcome to another episode of Cook with the Wing King with me, Olu Babalola, here to cook another meal that you guys can make at home. Of all the secrets and little tips that I think that other people, when you watch them, I think they hide them. And so I'm here to expose, right? So today we're gonna cook lemon pepper chicken wings, baked, not fried, right? And mac and cheese, okay? Super really hearty mac and cheese, super duper comfort food with a whole ton of cheese. We're gonna show you the secrets in how we make the cheese sauce. It's not made like normal, different little tips here, and how to make it super creamy and super cheesy and have a good cheese pull. Right? You know, these games were fun, but now the fun's over. It's time to go to work.
In there, relax Bobololo and finish at the rim.
To get the ball inside. Moments ago, that good penetration, finding that open jumper for the three, but they've got to keep Ford on it.
My name is Olu Babalola, former professional basketball player, now cooking buffalo wing based chicken wings. Chicken wings. So now we'll do the blue cheese. First thing we're going to work on though is the chicken. So remember, as a rule of thumb, anytime we get chicken, we don't season it with seasoning salt. We put it in the best ones for me: onion, garlic, and red pepper. All right. So anytime you buy chicken, that's just the thing. As soon as you get it home, take it out the packet, throw it in the Tupperware with your onions, garlic, and pepper. And if you like any herbs, I would go with thyme, a little bit of sage. That would be it though. Like nothing else is necessary. I wouldn't use rosemary. Rosemary for me doesn't really work with chicken. Maybe a whole chicken, but when you've broken down the chicken into pieces, portions, I wouldn't use rosemary. It's a bit too strong for me. I don't like it. Not for chicken. So yeah, just throw your chicken. Take it out the packet you got it from, put it in the Tupperware with those veg, the veg that you like, and leave it. And doing that also prolongs the life of the chicken. So whatever the sell-by date is, doing that you get at least another day or two. And don't be scared to use the Scotch bonnets as well. Throw the Scotch bonnets in there. I promise you it won't make it spicy, provided once you take it out, you take the Scotch bonnet off the chicken. All you get from that is the fruitiness of the spice and not the intense heat, right? So once your chicken is out the fridge, you take it out, the mixture of the herbs and the veg, then you want to season it, but these are lemon pepper wings, so we will use my seasoning, yeah, that you can get off my website, www.thewingkings.co.uk. Season it, you want to go with about 2 teaspoons of mama's seasoning. But as these are lemon pepper, that's not the highlight of the wing. Obviously it's lemon pepper. This is just an undertone that you will taste before we hit you with lemon pepper, which we will do once the wing is fully cooked, baked out the oven. Once it's baked out the oven, we will make a lemon pepper dusting butter to toast the wings in to give it its final flavor. All right. Alright, so now we're going to do the bechamel, the sauce for the mac and cheese. This is the key part. You have to stay focused and make sure you do step by step, alright? Me, I'm not fancy. I don't have a whisk, right? This is why I say that I'm not a chef, I'm just a cook. So we're going to go with a fork. So that's a little rule in the kitchen. If you don't have a whisk, you can go with a fork. It's the same job as a whisk. So that's just how we're about to move today. Sorry.
I had no idea.
It is what it is though. So we're gonna make the bechamel, right? Which starts with the flour and the butter, alright? So we'll melt a knob of butter in the pan. That's 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna go with 1 tablespoon of flour. Just regular plain flour. If any of you out there have gluten allergies, you can definitely substitute that with corn flour. It won't be much different. It's the same thing. A lot of people prefer to use corn flour because it's less likely that the sauce will be lumpy at the end, alright? So maybe if you want, just go with corn flour, but I'm alright with the regular flour. So just mix that in, get it combined, right? Remember, the whole point of this is the sauce thickener. That's what this is here. That's all this is for. But you want to cook the flour out so that you don't get that powdery taste when the sauce is finished. So keep that going. Get it all incorporated in. I need a whisk, but I'm nice, so I'll make it work. It's fine. Once that's all mixed in, it's starting to bubble, you want to go in with your milk, right? Now, mac and cheese is comforting, right? So don't skimp, don't get green top milk, or just get the full fat. Get full fat milk. If you want to go almond milk because you want to do the vegan thing, that's fine. The only thing with that is there's not too many good vegan cheeses, in my opinion. There's one or two, but for the mac and cheese, it doesn't work. So you can give it a shot, but I wouldn't waste my time just yet. There's tons of new vegan products coming out, so I think I have confidence that eventually there will be a good one out. But right now, nah, not for this. So you want to go in with 1.5 cups of milk, right? Go in with 1.5 cups of milk, have a look at it. It'll be really thin still, right? So I'm looking at that now, that needs more milk for sure. So I put another 1/2 cup, so that's 2 cups of milk you put in there. And turn it down, right? And this is where you have to be patient. And just mix it, keep your eye on it at a low heat. Because if it's at too much of a high heat, it will get too thick too quick, and also the higher the heat, the more chance you're going to have of a lumpy sauce as opposed to a smooth sauce. Then there's a little tip at the end that we'll do is it's going to get too hot, and when it does, we're going to put in, just for a bit of richness, 1/4 cup of double cream. That's really that's a good tip to make your sauce really like smooth and velvety. That's the kind of thing that they'll do in a restaurant that you wouldn't normally do at home, right? So we'll turn it down and we'll just let it go for a good, this is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes for sure. So once you get your sauce to the right thickness, which is about, I would say, I don't know, like a thick milkshake, it should coat the back of your spoon. You want to throw in the double cream, and that will help bring the temperature down of the sauce as well, because if the temperature is too hot and you throw the cheese in, that's when you get the grainy sauce, and that's very uncomfortable and unpleasant. You don't want to serve that. Alright, so that will bring the temperature down. It will make the sauce thinner, of course, as well, but this is going to be baked in the oven. So during the baking process and things we're going to add to it, which you'll see in a minute, it will thicken the sauce back up as it's being baked. So don't worry if it looks a bit too thin, it will thicken as we add things to it. So now what we do, very important, is when you add in the cheese, you add it off the heat, right? Make sure the heat is off, take it away from the flame while you add the cheese, because that will definitely kill your sauce. Alright, so we've got 400 grams of mixes of cheeses. The 2 most important cheeses for me is, I would go with a red Leicester and mature cheddar. Those are the 2 most important cheeses. And then you also want some mozzarella and a smoky cheese or whatever you like. There's a lot of Mexican cheeses that are really good, but with the Mexican cheeses or the smoky cheese, don't use too much, right? Because it just overpowers the whole sauce. But those 5 cheese packets, you can pick out cheeses like that. Those kind of cheeses are milder cheese, but the flavor coming from red Leicester and a mature cheddar. I wouldn't go extra mature, just regular mature is good. Or some kids don't like that, so you could go with a mild cheddar. Alright, so there's 400 grams. Again, make sure it's off the heat and get that all in there. And then mix. And as this goes in, you'll see it start to thicken. So just keep mixing it. It'll come together by itself. Alright, so that's really quite loose, but as I said, we're going to add things to it now. That's going to thicken it up once we bake it. Right, this baking the mac and cheese is one of the secrets to why my mac and cheese is really good. Right, always go with the baked version. Non-baked is good as well, especially if it's quick, just something quick, lunch, dinner, or whatever. But if you're trying to impress a crowd, bake your mac and cheese. Once that's in, get another small nub of butter. I'll go with about another tablespoon. Throw that in for a bit of richness. Another reason why it's important to make sure it's cooled down is because we're going to add eggs to this, right? If we wasn't baking it, we wouldn't add the eggs, but because we're baking it, add the eggs, and this brings it together as it's baking, right? So, 2 large eggs. Try to go with free range if you can. Free range nowadays is not that expensive, right? It's just better for your body as far as what you're putting in yourself. Anything you eat, always try and go as organic as you possibly can towards your budget. Alright? So mix that all up. Once that's all incorporated, we'll bring it over to the table and we're going to layer the mac and cheese. So now we're going to build the mac and cheese. I do it like a lasagna. I build it like a lasagna because to me, it's more cheesy that way for me. It won't be as bland if you build it. Some people, they'll put all the pasta in the sauce, mix it all up and throw it in. I like to build it like a lasagna because I feel like you get more layers to it, and we're going to add even more cheese to this, right? So in here, we've cooked this pasta just now. Just follow the cookings based on the packet. It's usually like 8-10 minutes, something like that. You can even undercook it because you want to go with the al dente if you can, and then remember that it's going in the oven anyway, so we'll cook more within the sauce. Also, once you cook any pasta you cook, when you drain it, don't drain it all the way dry. Get most of the water out, put it right back in, and let it sit in that own starchy water. That'll keep your pasta from drying out. That's even more important when you're doing other things like spaghetti bolognese, where the pasta lives on its own. Whereas in here, it's living in the cheese sauce, so you can get away with maybe not doing that. But it's definitely a good idea to just always, when you drain your pasta, don't drain it all the way, because that starchy water, you really need it to make sure the pasta doesn't go too dry. So, as we said, we'll build it in layers. So we'll start with a little bit of cheese on the bottom, the cheese sauce we just made. Right, that's thickened up now as it's starting to come down in temperature a little bit. Just doesn't have to be fully cover the bottom. Doesn't really matter because it's tons of cheese going in this anyway. So just get some pasta in there. I'm making a mess. It's fine. It's okay. Alright, once the pasta's in, next step is to put some more cheese on top of that. Just a bit. Get that on. Make sure all the pasta's broken up. Get a good bit of cheese on there. Then, for that good cheese ball, slice mozzarella. Alright? Told you, it's like lasagna. The mozzarella is like the pasta. So just cover that and continue to build like that, alright? So more pasta now. I'm using my hands because my hands are clean. Okay. Alright. Get that in. Sauce. Mozzarella. It's a ton of cheese going in this. If you ever come to wherever I serve, you see on the menu, I call mine cheese and mac, because there's more cheese than there is macaroni. This is a comfort dish, so if you're going to have comfort food, then just go all out. You know, there's no point in skimping on it. If you want to do a diet healthy version, fine. But if you're coming where I'm at and you want proper comfort food, then that's what you're going to get, and it's going to have a whole ton of cheese. Right? So I'll go with some more sauce here. Then a bit more pasta. And once the pasta's on, this has more than enough mozzarella, so you don't want to go with any more mozzarella, but you always want to make sure the top has the cheese sauce. That should always be the last layer. Then you can bake this in the oven. You want to bake it, foil it up, throw it in the oven, 15 minutes, 190. Once you get there, you take it out the oven. So now, to finish off the mac and cheese, spin it in the oven for 15 minutes. So there's nothing really to cook in there. I'm showing off, by the way. I just took that out of hands. Fine. I told you I had asbestos hands. 15 minutes in the oven. Take this off, and you can see it's set. And the reason why it's set is from the egg, right? And that's the way I like it. To finish it off now, to make it look a bit better and even a little bit more cheesy, just a little bit more of the flavors, right? You want to top it with a herb that you like. You can go with a mix, like an Italian herb. This is oregano. Smoked paprika, right? Don't go hot just in case somebody doesn't like it. So like a sweet smoked paprika. This is more for the look as well as the smokiness of it. And then top it with whatever cheese you like, okay? We've not used any Parmesan cheese in this so far, so we're gonna go with that on the top. But don't overdo it with the Parmesan because it's a strong cheese and some people don't like it, all right? So just a nice gradient. You could go with any cheese you want. Some people go with breadcrumbs. I don't like the breadcrumb thing. Some people mix the breadcrumb with cheese or breadcrumb with butter to make crumble top. It's cool, it's nice. I don't deem it's necessary. It's mac and cheese. I just want mac and cheese and I want it to be super creamy, alright? So that's fully cooked. All we're gonna do now is throw that in the oven to get the little bit of cheese on top melted and then take it out and it's good to go. So now, bringing everything together, lemon pepper wings have been in the oven about an hour and 10 minutes, 190. They're cooked, ready to go. So what we will do is we'll make the lemon pepper sauce, right? So all that is simple. It's butter and lemon pepper dusting. If you can get some, they're selling them everywhere now. Just get your favorite one. I am currently in the midst or towards the end of creating my own because I want to sell it myself. But I wanted it to taste like a certain brand, one that I usually use. I wanted it to taste exactly the same as that one because I prefer that one specifically. So I'm just getting there now. I need to finally, it's just a couple like intricate little detailed parts, but basically the zest of a lemon, keeping it preserved within the seasoning without it ruining anything and keeping it organic. That's the main thing. But I'm getting it. So for now we'll just use the one that I always buy. So you want to just get the butter nice and melted. There's a tablespoon and a half of butter in there. All this is by eye. Nothing is, it's not baking, so it doesn't have to be perfect measurements. Just melt the butter. This is, I would say, a tablespoon and a half of butter's in here right now. And then once you got that in there, you want to go with a good tablespoon of lemon pepper. But make sure you taste your lemon pepper seasoning first because some of them are quite salty, right? This one has a fair bit of salt in it. So it kind of limits the amount you want to put in because otherwise it'll just get too salty, all right? So that's about a tablespoon. Yeah, I'll put a tablespoon in there with the butter. We'll bring it together. Keep it moving. Some people put olive oil in there too. For me, I wouldn't do that because I don't like the taste of olive oil with this kind of with these kind of wings. Just butter, lemon pepper seasoning, good to go. So that's ready to take the wings down. So we'll grab the wings out the oven and we'll just throw them in. You could do this in a mixing bowl so you can toss them if you want. there's no need to just create more washing up, is there? So let's get that all mixed in. Turn them around, up and over. Make sure all the chicken is coated in the seasoning, in the butter. And then the mac and cheese is ready. The cheese on the top of that's melted. So we'll just plate up. Plating up. We're gonna use lemon zest to finish, put like a little dust on top of the lemon. When you get a lemon though, try and get an unwaxed lemon, right? Because they be putting wax on the lemons to preserve them. You don't want that, alright? So try and get, it's a bit more expensive if you can, or just skip this step. If your lemon pepper seasoning is good, you don't need this. It's more for the aesthetics, but try and get an unwaxed lemon, right? So to plate up now, we'll get the mac and cheese out of the oven. It's cooked, ready to go. A nice little corner. Some people like it more, I guess, charred. So you could turn it all the way up on the broiler, the grill, if you want. It won't take long, maybe 5 minutes. That's just up to you, depends on what you like. For me, I don't mind it either way. All right? So just get like a nice corner. And remember, because you put egg in it, it will come out, it won't be separated as much. The egg will kind of like bind it together, right? So it's kind of like, you just keep it easier. It's supposed to be. So yeah, that's that cheese pour from the mozzarella, and that's what we get from the layer in it, like a lasagna. All right. Just get a little bit more. Get in there. When you leave the next day, tomorrow, this tastes even better, and it will be more set for sure. So once it cools down, you can put it in the fridge. Then tomorrow, whack it back in the oven. You can top it with more cheese if you want to, and it will be even more set from the egg again. So there's that. Get your wings. You just tossed in the lemon pepper butter. Right, just put a tiny bit of that butter on there. And then the zest of the lemon, right? Don't go too deep. You know what they say, when it goes too deep, you get to that white piffy part, and that's when it gets all bitter. So just a nice little dusting. With a fresh lemon, the zest, a little goes a long way. You don't need much at all. Alright? So that is a good little meal. Mac and cheese, lemon pepper chicken wings. Thanks for watching. Another episode of Cook with the Wing King. Mac and cheese and mac, and lemon pepper baked wings. Not everyday fried food, right? Sometimes bake them, especially as we're getting into the colder months. Keep the fat off, keep the weight off by baking the wings sometimes. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, please. And I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 6 o'clock.